In this video, I will demonstrate how to install Windows 7 operating system. You should know the minimum system requirements before we install Windows 7. So our CPU for the computer should have 1 GHz speed for 32-bit or 64-bit. We should have a RAM of 1 gig for 32-bit and 2 gig for 64-bit. Our available hard disk drive space should have a 16 gig for 32-bit or 20 gigabytes for 64-bit. We should have a DirectX 9 graphics device with Windows Display Driver model WDM 1.0 installed. So we have a blank virtual machine that is configured to boot to our USB installer. Let's click start to power on our VM, and hopefully it will boot up on our USB installer. It will take some time to start the Windows installation process, so we'll have to wait and be patient on this. Alright, let's configure some settings on our installation, like the language to install. So we have some choices. You can also select the time and currency format, and as well as the keyboard or input method. Let's click the Install Now button to begin the installation. Although there is still one more that we have to check before it will start to install. We have here the End User License Agreement, or EULA, the license terms. We have to accept the license terms in order to proceed with the installation. For the type of installation, we have two choices: upgrade and custom. We will select custom as this is a clean installation. We have a 50 gig hard drive. Let's click drive options. We'll create two partitions, so we click new. For our first partition is 30 gigs, so it's 30 times 1024, it's 30,720. But we will consider for 100 MB system partition, so it's 30,820. Let's click OK to accept the creation of a system partition. As you can see, we have a 100 MB system reserve partition, and we have also our 30 gig partition, first partition. Let's create our second partition by clicking new and accepting the remaining drive space. Let's click our first partition as this is our desired installation location. Let's click next. Windows will now start to copy the files and expand the files accordingly. So this one will take a while, and let's pause the video and let's come back once the process is nearly done. Okay, the process of expanding the files is nearly done. It will then install the features and updates. So we'll wait on that. There you go. It's installing the features and updates, and proceed to complete the installation thereafter. And it will now ask to reboot the computer to continue the setup. Our virtual machine is rebooting. It is important that you do not press any key during this reboot. So we let our Windows 7 installation continue with its process. So it's doing some updates and starting some services. So the installation is resumed, and it's nearing the end of this installation process, so we'll just wait. So our computer again reboot reboots to finalize the setup. So it's preparing for our computer to first run the Windows 7. We need to type a username and computer name. So in the username field, we type Inquirinity. For example, I'm happy with the Inquirinity-PC computer name. For security, we need to type a password. So in the password field, we will supply one. We also need to retype the password as well as supply the password hint. Click next. So you have some options. Use recommended settings, install, and ask me later. So we'll select ask me later. So here we need to select our time zone. That will be the time zone near our location. So in my case it's Philippines. So I have some options, Kuala Lumpur or Taipei. So I could select whatever is near. So I will select for this example Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. Date is correct, time is correct, and let's proceed. So for the network location, we'll just select work network. Windows operating system is finalizing our settings, and we'll go ahead prepare our desktop. So it's preparing our desktop. So it will be in a moment that the installation will be complete. Alright, so there you go. Our installation is done. A quick click on the start menu, we'll have our username displayed. In this video, we have gone through the installation of Windows 7 operating system. So we have discussed the minimum system requirements. We have power on our VM and boot to the USB installer. We have selected our language, time and currency format, or keyboard, our input method. We have accepted the license terms, and we have selected the custom installation type. By then, we have partitioned our hard disk drive. We have two partitions, a 30 gig and the other, the remaining space. So the process proceeded with copying, expanding, and installing. After a few reboots, we are then asked to type our username and computer name. We have passwords for security. We have use recommended or ask me later for our settings. Change our time information based on our location. And finally, the network location. I hope you find this video on installing Windows 7 operating system helpful, and I would like to thank you for viewing.